Тебе нужно
Может,
будет...
какой-то нож положить? Тяжелее.
Ну, хорошо.
Бумагу
Всё.
можно, или нож можно.
Уже
Всё равно.
все хорошо. Окей, так.
Все?
Окей, начинаем. Готовьтесь.
Это ясно, что ты по кухне нож сразу положишь. С ножом бегай. Ну, это нормально, ну что вырежется. Ну...
Хорошо. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm Julia Keller, and I'm going to talk to you about something very interesting today. I'm an interaction expert, and there are many kinds of interactions in this world that I work with. I work with people, helping them with personal interactions, professional interactions, but one of the things that people forget, which is the most important interaction in your life, is the interaction with yourself, the interaction between mind, body, and soul. And that is why I have a very special guest here today. His name is Raitis.
Hello.
And Raitis is going to tell us, actually he's going to tell, well, us, and I'm going to translate for you, all about some of the things that he sees as a healer about the other realm. And Raitis, how do you say your last name? Raitis, как твоя фамилия говорит?
Jokums.
Raitis Jokums. У вас есть какой-то сайт, где можно про вас почитать?
Ну, мне стерли Facebook чуть-чуть. Мой сайт, но я сделал новый.
Окей, ну на Facebook что-то есть, где люди могут найти больше после этого.
Также есть рисунки, которые я рисую.
Raitis is also a brilliant artist, and he draws things that he sees from the other world.
Стихи пишу также.
And he writes poetry. So,
это можно найти на сайте.
Which site? Какой сайт?
Руаре.
Raitis?
Это чисто Руаре.
Руаре.
R-O-R-A.
Ты понимаешь? R-O-A-R?
R.
We will add it under the video.
Okay, we will add it under the video. Yes, good idea.
All the information.
All the information about you will add it under the video. Yes, we will add it. So Raitis is basically, he has a very interesting life story, which hopefully will be on his site, because if I tell you now, then it will take the whole video. But Raitis started out doing something completely different and found himself in a situation where his life completely changed. He was stuck in a place between life and death, and he chose life, but he had a vision from the other side, and this vision hasn't ceased coming to him. And he uses this vision to heal people, to help people, to teach people about what's there in the other world. And we have here Natalia, who, by the way, is a very good friend of Raitis, but also one of his early clients in this country, where we are now. Actually, you will not know from our accents, but we're actually in London at the moment. Raitis comes to us from the beautiful world of Riga. Is it Riga? Is it Riga?
Да, ну, в принципе, из Латвии.
From Latvia, but he travels all over the world to talk about what he does and to do his healing, because he has a lot of people who are very interested and call him to come to him. In fact, he has a trip coming up soon to Швейцарию, да?
Да, потом.
Швейцарию?
Лондон еду, потом Швейцарию, да.
To Switzerland. So there's a lot of healing going on.
Швеция.
Oh, sorry, Sweden. To Sweden, not Switzerland. But he's going to Switzerland as well, by the way, if you're watching this from Switzerland. And Natalia is going to tell us a little bit about how Raitis has helped her, because he has helped her tremendously with her health issues, and he has helped me, which is why I am talking here. And not only me, but I work with a lot of clients, and I have brought Raitis to my clients who go through different things. My clients from the simplest, where they wanted to ask professional questions, to the most complicated, where they wanted to ask personal questions and had just incredible personal transformations, to even the highest level, where he has helped them with their health. Because one of the things that we unfortunately make the mistake of is forgetting how important it is to be connected here, here, and here. So this, I'm pointing at the bottom to my gut, because your gut is very important, but so is your heart and your mind and the bigger picture. And this is the thing, we are not connected with ourselves enough, which is why people like Raitis get the messages from the other world to connect us better, to try to help us towards that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Natalia to talk a little bit about her experience, and then we're going to ask Raitis some really interesting questions about what he sees in the other world, and only a little bit, because really he has novels that he can write about his visions and the calling that he gets from the other world. It's absolutely fascinating to listen to him. So Natalia first.
I had a really tragic experience with my husband. Unfortunately, he got cancer stage 4. We found about it, and it was a bit late to really help him. And he went through operation, and it was colon cancer, as Julia told us. So it was about gut. And then we needed to do lots of chemo. And then I met Raitis, and Raitis did amazing work. Each time my husband would back from the chemo, he would come and heal him, and my husband would feel amazingly. He would go back to work, and he was just like travel and live very normal life. But we've been told that people normally would lay down in the bed, will lose hair. He didn't lose his hair, and
he looked really healthy.
And they would not eat. He didn't have any, obviously, like obvious side effects.
Just to let you know, because yes, he did pass away, but this man went through 16 rounds of chemo. I mean, he went through 16. Like most people do not really survive up to 16 rounds of chemo. That's a lot of chemo to be putting into your body. And I mean, we all have our own feelings about chemo.
Just the way the Raitis was helping him to detox, it was really amazing. And then I had some issues with eyes. I had glaucoma, and I used to go to hospitals, and a couple of times I had really bad inflammation. I have to go to A&E, and then I called Raitis, and he came right away in early morning hours, and just by holding my hand,
and your eyes are much better.
My pain just went away. And
I mean, Natalia,
I would call it magic. I don't know how Raitis maybe have better explanation. For me, it looks like a magic.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Natalia herself went through surgeries for eyes, which many people become blind from, and she just everything. I mean, your eyes are now okay. They're really getting better, no?
Yes.
I mean, it's incredible. Like, she doesn't have to.
I wasn't able to read. I wasn't able to do anything.
Yeah, she was supposedly on glaucoma medication for the rest of her life, and she hasn't had to have the glaucoma medication for.
I'm not on the drops.
Yeah, she's not on the drops anymore. She's, the only bad thing is your eyelashes, don't get to be as long anymore. But the glaucoma medication has one good side effect, and it's that it makes your eyelashes really long.
Eye drops.
The eye drops make.
Not glaucoma.
Right, the glaucoma medication. Yeah.
Yeah.
The eye drops. Yeah.
And so you also.
And I have had series of different health issues back and forth, and I mean, I meditate a lot anyway, but I tell you that when Raitis comes, I mean, you don't need to do very much for me to get me into the state, but when Raitis comes, it's like he takes me by asking me certain questions. And this is for anybody who's really interested, who's already there. If you feel like you're already there, and you kind of get to a stage of meditation that you can get to a certain level, but you feel like you kind of, at some point you hit a barrier, like you can't get any higher than that, Raitis comes and takes that barrier away. I mean, it's amazing. With people who are already kind of going there, he does an amazing job just opening up the space for you, because he asks the right questions, and he guides you through, and you see things.
To the channel.
Yes, and you know it too, because you also, like me, like a lot of meditation. You said when you started with him, he took you to a completely different space, like much higher.
So maybe we can ask him how he does it.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. We should ask him, how do you do? Raitis, мы говорили про как ты нам помог, да, так, и мы рассказали несколько, как ты нам помог. Итак.
Это не я, вы сами тоже же работали, это зависит от всего вместе.
Так что, я думаю, что люди хотят знать, это как ты делаешь, если ты можешь немножко рассказать.
Это делается энергией, это не я делаю, они существуют, в каждом человеке это есть, он сам может это делать, это очищение тела от ненужных вещей, тем более от болезней и так далее, и так далее. Это эмоции, которые состоят в нашем теле, или как взять стакан, наливаем сюда, выпиваем, а потом идем в туалет. Ну, то же самое система, только чуть-чуть по-другому.
So what Raitis is saying is that each one of us has the ability to heal ourselves. We all have the energy inside of us. But one thing I will add that he didn't say, just in case somebody understands Russian and is going to laugh at my, translation where I add stuff every time Raitis says something, is that sometimes we need the help of a guide to take us to that next level. Because even me, I do this for a living. I actually help clients to that level myself. But even I, and you also, I mean, you meditate all the time.
Yeah.
You know, we both needed Raitis to kind of open up that flow, which he does incredibly well. So he will call himself, he's a channel. He's not, he will not call himself anything. He does not have any grandiose visions. He is a channel that the universe uses, or however you want to call the higher power, uses to come and help us unplug and help everybody to kind of really channel the energy that we already have inside ourselves if we just zone into it. Now, if you're watching this and you're like me and like Natalia, where we kind of, do it a lot, we reached a level and Raitis helped us, that's one thing. But if you're watching this and you're like, I have no idea what this means, I kind of flipped onto this and I don't really know if I even believe in this stuff, I cannot, obviously teach you to believe, but one of the things for sure is that energy is there, and you know it because you meet people and sometimes you are attracted to people, and not just because of their looks. I'm talking about attracted to, you come and you see somebody in a room and you like their energy, and then you see other people in the room and you don't want to be anywhere close to them. Or if you take a class, or if you're at work and there are people at your work that you have to work with, but it's like pushing bricks. So energy exists because we all have a level of energy and we give it off to people. And people, either want to be close to our energy or they don't. So the fact that it's there. Whether you believe there's a higher power or there isn't, that's a debate. We can debate for hours. But the fact that there's energy in the universe is for sure. And so what Raitis does is he basically gets in and helps that energy to flow better. Это я права, что я сказала, что вы делаете, вы заходите, вы помогаете, что эта энергия, которую люди имеют, чтобы она лучше шла.
Да, каждый человек подключен к своему магнитному полю, их очень много, каждый как индивидуальный человек, так же как цветок или как дерево. Он подключается сам, если он это хочет, он подключается к своим естественным связям энергии при рождении, которой была рождена планета. При этих действиях он набирает натуральную свою энергию, не загруженную, а то, что есть нить у него самому, с собой и с космосом, универсумом.
Чистая прямая связь.
Можно назвать Бог, можно назвать разные нюансы, но это энергия, которая состоит, весь мир – это энергия. И мы просто ее сами загружаем мыслями и так далее. Но там это другие темы уже, и можно обсудить.
Переведи красиво, красивые.
So what Raitis said is kind of a little bit what I started to say as well, that everywhere there is energy. We are all filled with energy. All of the life. If you go to a tree, if you watch a tree growing, the tree has its own energy. You can feel the energy of a tree. One of the things that we do when you learn a little bit about meditation and healing and working with energy is you do these things called hug a tree. And when you hug a tree, you kind of get rid of all the negative energy that's in your body and ground yourself. And this is why hugging a tree is so useful. And obviously we also, naturopathy, we also talk about we talk about grounding. And so, if you're in this kind of field, you know about grounding, where you walk on the grass with bare feet, for example, with bare feet. So why, obviously there is energy if all of that actually grounds you to the earth, because everything in the earth has its own energy. Like he said, a flower has energy, and people have energy. The problem is that sometimes we're so tuned out of what the earth wants from us that we start to lose, and it starts to go all over the place, and this is where we get illnesses. So illnesses come from here as much as it comes from the fact that we're eating food that isn't meant to be eaten. And so what Raitis really does is he is grounded himself, and so he kind of tunes into this other world, which is constantly sending him messages. So Raitis, on the one hand, does heal, but on the other hand, he also has messages that he's constantly getting, which he puts into his art, by the way, and he puts into his poetry, and that's kind of another side of what he does, and he teaches people in his native languages, Russian and Latvian, Latishki, how to kind of get into understand
how to
what's
see
happening.
that thinner energy.
Yes,
how
exactly.
to go to the thinner energy level.
Yes. So I think one of the things we'll finish with is maybe we'll have Raitis give us a few messages that are important for us to remember as human beings, so that we don't let ourselves to collide into, the problem is that there is the everyday, there is the, all the things that you have to get through, there is the storm of stuff that you have to do every day, the storm of stuff that you have to get done by tomorrow, you have to do next week, you have a deadline at work, you have a deadline at school, you have kids to feed, you have to bring them places, you have stuff, all have stuff to do, there's like a mountain of stuff, and in that mountain of stuff we lose sight of what's really, really important, and it's the fact that if we don't survive, we can't do all that stuff. And so we allow stress to creep in, and a lot of people get ill because of stress. I mean, stress is, well known as one of the top deadly things. And the reason why we have stress is because we're so out of connection that we don't channel in, which is where Raitis comes and tries to help us to reconnect, rebalance, reground,
Detox,
exactly.
Just like every day brushing our teeth.
Yeah.
You have to do it every day.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, detox on a spiritual level, because it is so important. Because if we're not there, then all those things that have to get done, we won't be able to do anyway. So, that's why it's so important to spread this message. That's why I love that Raitis is going and spreading this message, because really we get lost and we lose ourselves. So let's ask Raitis some key messages that he can send us. Так что мы хотим тебя спросить, это чтобы ты сказал несколько вещей, которые люди могут легко понимать и легко поменять в своей жизни, что им важно сделать.
Послание.
Пусть люди сами всматриваются в себе. Это чистая внутренняя энергия, которая в них. Это называется третьим глазом, можно назвать чувством, можно сказать интуиция. Мы его забыли. Нас загрузили всякими другими вещами, но забудьте, что мы люди. Если нас загружают машинами, и машины хотят взять мир в свое пространство, и не дают людям почувствовать самого себя, мы забудем, что есть такая цивилизация, люди вообще. Просто сердечность, не сердечность, то, что мы люди. Если машины загрузят все полностью, да, они должны быть, они помогают, но если этот перевосход будет намного больше, не самый лучший будет спереди, следующим поколением и так далее, и так далее. Может наступить чисто роботизация, которая поменяет вообще человечество. Не будет человека как существа.
And this is a beautiful thing.
Если машины начнут рожать машину, человечество, до свидания, бай-бай. Вот это самое главное, что если в больницах и в клиниках надо вместе, совместно работать одно и то же, и третье, люди тянут в свою сторону, каждый, это тоже нормально, это бизнес, но смотря в каком углу и под какими весами, которые Тимида есть, и весы по гороскопу китайскому. Там очень много тем разных, это воспринимание наших чувств, как мы это воспринимаем. Если человек не будет чувствовать сам себя, что в нем внутри, сердцем и всеми остальными органами, которые есть как кристаллы, как кристалл, из чего мы состоимся. Мы состоим из всего полностью, то, что на земле, под землей и наверху. Мы просто это мы забыли. И мы плывем по лодке. Лодка, если взять волны, которые в физике, где они? Волна как море, мы плывем. Мы дерево, человек. Мы плывем. Или мы плывем вот так, и нам бабах. Или мы плывем нормально по волнам. Или мы стучимся головой, потом думаем, у меня пустое. Думаем, надо было или нет. Но это изучение жизни, это изучение нас.
И ты всегда говоришь, что про свободу выбора. Что
Свобода выбора, да.
Давай я переведу одну вещь, потому что если я забуду. So Raitis said very much.
Тяжело, наверное, будет это перевести.
Я не перевожу все, но я так тему. So he basically made a very similar point, which is the point that is the most important thing, really, that we are human. And the problem is that we have lost, through all these things that are just around us, we have lost the ability to understand ourselves. We have lost the connection between mind, between body, between soul, between spiritual energy, between the universe. I mean, forget about, like I said, it's not important whether you believe in a higher power or you don't. The point is that there is the connection with nature that we have lost. So we have allowed machines to come and basically dominate our existence. So what we're basically doing is we're allowing all the robots in our life, we're not going to call them robots, we call them machines that we need to survive, we need quotes to survive, to dominate our survival. And by following that, we're making that our new god. We're following all the, we need machines to live, we need machines to drive, we need machines to send our messages to other people.
We need our telephones.
We need our telephones. I mean, I'm as guilty as everybody else. I cannot sleep without the phone in my room because I think what will happen if my phone is not there somewhere? I can't see it when I first wake up in the morning. We have just allowed all these things that are not our natural humanity to take over our natural humanity. And this is, the continuation is to synthetic food, for example. I mean, how many people actually eat real food anymore? Most of us go and we eat food that is created in some laboratory, and it tastes better than the real stuff that we used to pick out of nature. And the problem is that as we disconnect more and more and more, we allow this machinery to dominate our existence. And eventually, if this machinery becomes really smart, where are we as humans going to be? What are we doing to the next generation? Which is a point he made, which is like, what about the next generation and the generation after that generation? Because as we get smarter, we make our machines even smarter. And as our machines get smarter, I mean, how smart will they get? So there is a point where we have to stop and come back to ourselves and really realize that what's the most important thing is that we are human and that we have to connect to this humanity, to the nature, to the universe, to the place where we first began, where we grew out of. Because if we don't, eventually everything will self-destruct and we'll just start all over again. I mean, we've seen all these doomsday movies where, after whatever, another...
Это нормально, что? Нормально, без вкуса это идет, это прямой, натуральный,
I mean, it's scary stuff, this man has some really, scary stuff to say, but it's not meant to frighten you, it's meant to bring you back to you, so you connect with you, because that's where our strength really is, inside of us. And inside of humanity, not just, and I don't mean to make you selfish and like, oh, it's just about me. No, it's the connection with humanity, but humanity, other humans, nature, the universe, not the things that, supposedly help us on a day-to-day basis. And it's not that we should get rid of the machines. The machines are very important, but we need to connect with ourselves. And we need to remember that the most important thing is here. And the extension with our families and our friends and our communities, things like that. So I'm going to ask Raitis for one more message, because anyway, this is going to get edited, so we can, keep whatever we want. Okay, Raitis, еще одну вещь сказать. Еще одну вещь, которую важно, чтобы люди знали. Последнюю вещь.
Смотрите в себя больше.
Так, это вы уже очень много сказали.
Еще раз скажу, смотрите в себя и задумывайтесь, что происходит. Как меняется планета, что творится с химией, вообще, в принципе, всем. Там очень много тем и по религии, и по энергетике, одно и то же. Люди просто не могут разделить это все, и каждый описывает чуть-чуть по-другому, смысл один.
Может быть, совет какой-то, как именно работать, как смотреть в себя, как подключаться к каналу, может быть, совет
если можешь.
Во-первых, захотите. Это самое первое, захотите. Если человек не захочет, он не сможет это взять, потому что если он не хочет, зачем ему это надо?
И пробовать.
Это самое первое, что надо. Посмотрите, попробуйте. Есть люди, кому надо. Люди разные, каждому свое. Тут без этого не состоит, так же, как цветы, мы все общие. Одному того, но это взаимосвязь, которая работает. В нашем пространстве, в шарике, в котором мы живем, планетарная система под названием Земля, но существует много еще других планет и состояний, там, другие существа и другие вещи. Это энергия взаимосвязи, это время, которое текет вперед.
So, what he said, again...
Тем очень много, и там, я не знаю, 10 книг, наверное, можно написать, но это невозможно.
It's true, there is a lot of advice that he can give. We only have the short video, but the thing he said, again, he just reinforced how important it is to look inside. And Natalia kind of asked, well, teach people how. And one of the things he said is, first of all, you have to want to look inside. If you don't want to look inside, because like I said, we are, and like he said actually, we are becoming so disconnected. We have lost so much ourselves that we don't want to look inside anymore because we're afraid of what we'll find. So the first thing we have to do is just get past that. Look inside, because it is up to us to save ourselves, our families, our humanity, our universe, and just, you know, humanity in general. So the first thing you have to do is to want to look inside. That's part one. And then if you want to look inside, then you will find the way in. And if you need help finding the way in, well, first of all, there's so many things out there. If you just go to YouTube, which is probably where you're watching this video, and you click on meditation videos, meditation music, meditation whatever, you will find so many different ones. I do some on my website, juliakeller.co.uk, and on my YouTube channel, Julia Keller. You know, I give away free meditation things, but so do lots of other people. There are so many, I mean, there's so many greats out there who are telling you how to do it. And the main thing is, it doesn't matter where you get started. It just matters that you get started. That you start by looking inside. Because you can start with doing, you know, a Wayne Dyer video, for example, and then move to doing, you know, a completely different meditation video, and then move to doing something that fits with you. You might be like, I don't want to breathe that way. I want to breathe that way. I don't want to sit there and zone and go for 30 minutes. I want to walk and have a walking meditation. The point is that it doesn't matter what you follow.
Be present.
It's about being present, yes, and looking inside. Yeah, being present when you're with people and really just feeling life. I mean, like, how many people sleepwalk through life, you know? Where they're not present at all. They're like, go from one place to another, and they're not connecting at all. And then, so be present, connect with yourself, connect with the people around you, connect with your universe, and you can make a difference. Like, the important thing is that every single person can make a difference. Raitis is making a huge difference within the lives of so many people. And he was just an average, normal person before he started doing this work. And Natalia too is, you know, she's making a huge difference. She's doing, you know, workshops of spiritual healers and people in her home. She's opening up her home to allow all this stuff to flow. That's the thing that she got. That's what, you know, the gift that the universe is giving. You know, and I'm doing videos and just
I'm hosting
sharing.
healers.
She's hosting amazing people. I have met some of the people that she's hosting. I'm going to do a workshop in her home as well, because it's just like she's got a lovely energy, because she is present, because she's woken up, because she, you know, all of us were asleep for some time before we woke up. And what we wish for you is that you also wake up. And if you want to find Raitis, we'll put some details about where to find him on the bottom of this video when somebody figures out how to do that. Yeah. We'll put some details. Raitis Jokums. Are you on Facebook? Ты на Facebook?
Yeah. Если меня не стерут, тогда я буду.
Как тебя найти?
В Фейсбуке Raitis Jokums.
Okay, как писать? R-A-I-T-E-S for Raitis.
Yeah.
And Jokums is J.
J. O.
O.
K.
K.
U.
O. U.
M.
O.
You.
U. U. U.
S.
S.
M-S, right?
M-S.
M-U-S.
M-S.
Ты скажи. Natalia will say it. She gets J. J.
Здесь
O.
можно написать ручкой.
No, this J. O. O. K.
K. U.
U.
M.
M.
S.
S.
Okay, yeah.
That's it. Raitis, R-A-I-T-E-S, and Jokums, J-O-K-U-M-S. There we go. We got it. He's on Facebook, so you can connect with him. He will. I think he does have a website, or he will have a website, or somehow you will find him. But you can start with Facebook and all of that. He should be able to put everything on Facebook. And I'm Julia Keller, so you can also find me on Facebook, Julia Keller, and Natalia. Are you still on Facebook?
No, I'm on Instagram.
He's on Instagram. How do you connect with you, Natalia?
Mediokritskaya.
Oh, you're kidding, right?
Half table.
You are kidding.
To hide my
We
name.
need to change that.
We will try to add everything.
We'll try to add everything. Yes, we will figure it out. But anyway, you can connect with me, Julia Keller, and I will put you in touch with everybody else. My name is the easiest, guys. Julia, K-E-L-L-E-R, like killer, but with an E. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you for listening, and we'll set off. Bye.
Bye. Oh my god, it was so much fun.
Я же вспотела. Я надеюсь, что...
Дети пересмотрели нормально, еще много надо будет.